Hey everyone, it's Kerri-Ann and I am really excited to share with you some new watercolours for the new year. So as I film this, it's 2021, it's towards the end of January, but what I decided was, after giving my watercolour palettes a really good clean, I thought to myself, actually, have I been really happy with the SAA watercolours that I've been using in 2020? So these were the watercolours that I mostly used in 2020. They were an SAA range and they did me well. I was quite happy with them. But I had noticed that when I had tested out some other watercolours, so for example, when I'd looked at the Daniel Smith range, I was so much more impressed with those. But also the Cotman, I was more impressed with those than the SAA. And I was also really loving the professional range of Winsor & Newton. So I have treated myself to firstly some Daniel Smith colours. Now, because of the price range of these, I have gone for only a limited range of these. So these ones are ones I already had in my collection, and these are the ones that I absolutely fell in love with. So I bought both of these quite a while ago, and then I've just got myself these. Now these were like £42, I think, something like that. So I am super excited to have a little nosy at these and get started with those. So these, as I say, they're the Daniel Smith watercolour range. I have done a few videos on the test chart before, and you'll probably know that, you know, nearly every watercolour artist has heard of these and tested them out at some point. Some love them, some don't. Majority of people will rave about the quality of these because the quality is just absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do for this video is, in a moment I'm going to stop talking and I am going to fill these little half pan palettes. Now, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that normally I work in full pan palettes, so these size here, and obviously I've used quite a lot of that one. And the reason being, I like to write the information on the side, and also because I use quite a lot and I use them so regularly, a full pan is better for me. Now, because this Daniel Smith range is a lot more expensive, and for me, although I am a full-time artist and I do sell my work online and in my shop and things like that, so I am someone using watercolour all day every day, and it is important for me to use the best quality I can when I'm painting. I just simply cannot afford this level of paint for all of the artwork I do. So I'm going to use half pans, and I am going to create a palette specifically for the Daniel Smith watercolours, and then I'm going to do a chart. So rather than writing on the pans and rather than putting small amounts inside the palette, I'm still going to use half pans. I'm going to slot the half pans in here, then I'm going to have a working area for the paint there. So I'm going to fill each of these colours into here, then I'm going to put it based on my chart in the organised area of the chart here, and I'm also going to do a little swatch onto this, and this I'm going to keep next to my palette so I can remind myself of the different colours and things and what order they're in. So I'm going to switch now to a music version, stop my jabbering talking, and you can watch how I fill all the palettes, fill all the pans and fill up my palette. guys, so if you were wondering why I looked a bit puzzled in the last bit, you may have noticed that when I got to putting in the, I don't know how I'm saying this, Rhodonite Genuine from the pack, it wasn't there. So I had it on my chart and I had it written on the packet, but it wasn't in the ones that I just tipped out. So I was a bit confused. It turns out that I've actually ended up with a rose instead of the one listed on the packet. Now I have gone ahead and used it because, you know, I don't mind. I'm excited to have any Daniel Smith colours. However, obviously I will contact the company to let them know that obviously there's an issue with the colours listed on the box and the ones that that I've received. But I'm happy. I've got, you know, the colours, 6 colours in there. So I'm more than happy. I've just left a gap for when I get hold of the next one. So those ones are in there now and they will set and I will be able to use those. But what I'm going to do is do a bit of swatching. So by that I'm just going to really carefully take a small amount, pop it into the area next to it, which is where I will in future do the mixing of that colour. And then I'm going to apply it to my watercolour page. It would probably be easier for me if I did this flat. So if I switch, move those to one side, bring that one there. So let's have a little go at pulling this colour out and see where we can go with it. Beautiful, beautiful colour, this one. I'm going to leave that one there like that. Just give my brush a bit of a clean before I move on to the next one. And obviously when I come back to using these next time, the watercolour is likely to be much more solid. So I will have an area of working next to the half pan and then an area to pick up the paint. So let's do this one here. I'm not going to quite go up to the edge there. Beautiful, beautiful shimmer in this one. That's why I went for this one. There we go. Another good clean of the brush there. I'm going to move down to this one here. That's a really vibrant, powerful one, that one. And I've got to remember that that's actually this one here because we didn't have in the box the one we were expecting. Another good clean of the brush. I'm going to move to this one here. Wow, this one's beautiful. Really deep green, this one. I almost don't want to waste anything that's on the brush. As much as I aesthetically don't want to move across because it makes it all look strange, I really don't want to waste any paint off this brush right now because it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous shade of green. So, note to self, you barely need anything to get a beautiful, beautiful green from there. Have a little try with this one here. Nice slaty colour, I like this one. Beautiful. I'm going to move to this one here. I'm going to need to add the one at the bottom, to the name to it later. The rose that I wasn't expecting. This isn't the rose, I'm just saying I'm going to need to add the rose label to the bottom later on to remind myself. And we're going to go to the amethyst. Now if you don't like the movement that you get with the half pans in there, you can just put a little glue dot on them, on the base of the half pans, and the glue dot will actually keep it in place so that you can avoid the wobbling around of the half pan. Now I have put a bit too much water for my liking on this one. I was not paying attention. I'm just going to dry the brush off. It's a bit more watered down than I should have done, but you can still see the colour. And then this one here, don't need quite so much. Beautiful colour. Very vibrant. Just not what I was expecting. But we are going to go with it. There we go. And I shall add the label to that one later. So there we have it. I've swatched out my new Daniel Smith watercolour palette. I will have probably add to it throughout 2021, but it's just nice to have a new palette to work with and do some interesting pieces on. So my colour palette's quite limited. I've got some nice earthy tones, so I can obviously do some nice landscapey, possibly some sea and floral colours maybe, but there are quite a few colours there missing from the range. I have got the swatch cards, and I've got all of the swatch cards, so once I work out what ones I really like and want to get more of, then obviously I can invest slowly throughout the year into my Daniel Smith watercolour palette. Now I am going to do some more videos to introduce you to my Cotman, my Winsor & Newton palette, my cotton palette and my professional range Winsor & Newton palette. I shall do those in a separate video. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.